Fitzhugh, Barry, and Chipper have been meandering through the town, presumably looking for food. What they're finding is weirdness.
More cookies.
They seem to be doing this in all the houses today.
Yeah, and the whole town's decorated up. Must be a giant holiday.
If they're putting out cookies, maybe they have their own version of Santa Claus.
Oh, well, he won't miss that one.
Whoever he is, and however you say that, he won't get a chance to miss it. Fitzhugh's already carrying it. They have to stop at a fire hydrant to check for giants, and while they're waiting, Chipper runs off. Again, I can never tell if Chipper is well trained or not. Sometimes he seems to understand every word the humans are telling him, and other times he acts like he's not sure what these weird creatures are or if he should be hanging around them.
Let me get out of here quickly.
But what about Chipper? He ran in those bushes.
Fetch him. Catch up with me.
Thrombeldinbar.
The legend surrounding Thrombeldinbar is a little like our stereotype legend of the leprechaun. Catch him, and if you follow the rules, he has to grant you a wish. Our young fellow is caught as Thrombeldinbar, and no matter how much Fitzhugh protests that he's not whatever you said, the boy says, "Of course you are. You're even holding your cookie. That proves it." For now, Thrombeldinbar will ride in our lucky little fellow's pocket.
Hey, Monk. Here? Hello, boy. Hi. What you got there?
Who are you, and why is it any of your business? Our organ grinder there is named Oaken, and his monkey is named Monkey. His real name was Jay Novello, the guy, not the monkey, and we've seen him before on this channel. The last time we saw him, he was an Italian chef helping his beautiful daughter escape an arranged marriage by taking shelter in Fort Courage under the protection of Captain Parmenter and his legendary F Troop. I dare say the chef has let himself go a little.
If you please. Open up your jacket and let me see. This is a bad day to be stealing things, boy.
I didn't steal anything.
Those who instantly suspect you of doing something illegal are those who would probably do just that if they were in your position. So we have a fair idea that if Oaken has something hidden in his pocket, he probably stole it.
He was stealing some cookies. I could smell them. There we are. Little people. Go find the monk.
As I said, it's not hard to tell that he's the type who's always interested in a fast buck, or dough, or whatever they use here, so he'll kill some time trying to catch Barry. Barry had been following the boy to see where he's taking Fitzhugh. I don't know how it is in the giant world, but on Earth, chimps don't really hunt. And if they do happen upon a small mammal, like, say, a young boy 3 inches tall, they're just as likely to eat him as to bring him to his owner. It's not hard for Barry to avoid them, and he manages to stay on the boy's tail and see where he lives. Then it's back to the ship to report. Our young man's name is Garna, and he lives in an orphanage with his little brother Toby. That's Mr. Partig, the school's headmaster. We'll learn that the Night of Thrombeldinbar is indeed kind of like our Christmas Eve, when a magical creature comes to your house and does nice things for you. It's also a major holiday, so everybody gets the day off and can go spend it with their families. Except Mr. Partig. In preparation for the Feast of Thrombeldinbar, people come to the orphanage and select children they want to take home with them, so the kids have a family to spend it with, at least for a little while. Mr. Partig has to stay here because nobody wanted Garna and Toby. All the people who came to give a nice day to orphans passed on them. I can't imagine how that made them feel, but Mr. Partegg isn't interested in that. He's stuck here looking after them instead of being able to go have his own holiday, and he is not happy about it.
What are you up to?
Nothing, sir.
Where have you been? Did you go outside?
No, sir.
Well, see that you don't.
Their belongings consist of one little box of items they're allowed to keep under the bed. Garna empties the box out and puts Fitzhugh, a.k.a. Thrombeldinbar, in it so they can take a closer look.
Thrombeldinbar?
Yes, and then the giant boy took him to the orphanage. State Children's Home number 28.
He probably thinks Fitzhugh's a toy.
What were you doing in town, Barry?
Well, Mr. Fitzhugh thought we could get something good to eat. He's awfully sick of those boiled roots.
I can't blame him for that. I'm getting sick of them myself.
I know I'm probably belaboring the point, but once again we see that Alexander Fitzhugh is a very different person than Zachary Smith. Fitzhugh is hungry, so he goes looking for food. Barry, of course, tags along because Fitzhugh is a danger to himself when he's alone. Dr. Smith, on the other hand, would have complained of his bad back and insisted that Professor Robinson and Major West go find the food, and then demanded that Maureen and Judy cook it for him. Fitzhugh is selfish, and his ethics are more than a little off base. But even though he falls asleep a lot, one thing he is not is lazy. He'll do what the task requires. He'll grumble all the way, but he'll do it. For reasons I haven't been able to find out, Betty isn't in this episode. But when Barry assures everyone that he can find his way back to the orphanage, the crew gets ready to go, including Barry, Valerie, and Chipper.
All elves must have hats, you see, to protect them from bad children. Now, let's see how it fits.
Another big difference. The boys explained the situation to their little Thrombeldinbar. Fitzhugh can feel the pain that they're pretending isn't there, so he's finding ways to entertain the boys and give them a little happiness in the midst of an unhappy situation. This is a feature of the commander that I hope we develop a lot more.
How is it?
It's a very good hat. But it's too big, Toby.
No, you're right. It's a very good hat. But it is too big.
So you need a bigger head.
That is your wish.
We wish for... No, don't tell him, Toby.
How can I grant you a wish if I don't know what it is?
You don't fool us that way. Don't tell him, Toby. We won't get our wish until we set him free.
They're two orphan boys who have absolutely nobody that cares whether they live or die. I wonder what their wish is. He coaxes them into revealing that the rules say to set him free when the moon comes up and they'll get their wish. That doesn't sound too bad.
Tell us another one, please.
Let me see. Oh. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack took a flop and blew his top, and Jill washed her hand of the whole matter. I'm a bit limited on nursery rhymes.
It's close enough for two lonely children who are desperate to find any joy in life.
Don't tell me. Let me guess. A pelican with a sore throat.
Mr. Partegg.
Some people don't think the boys deserve any joy in life. He gets all over them for having their stuff strewn on the bed instead of in their box, and if they were in the middle of playing with that stuff, that's just too bad, and says, you two obviously have too much time on your hands.
Tisn't enough that I have to give up my holiday to nursemaid you because nobody wanted you. You're determined to drive me out of my mind as well. Put that stuff in the box now.
Please, sir. We were playing. Couldn't we keep the things out just a little longer?
Oh, you're hiding something in that box. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, they're hiding all the hurt, self-loathing, and feelings of worthlessness that you have so skillfully implanted in them, sir. Fitzhugh manages to scramble out of the box and take cover, whereupon Parteg is even more angry that they were apparently hiding a whole lot of nothing in the box. The only way he's going to be satisfied is if he can find some way to cause pain to these boys as revenge for his having to stay here, because obviously it's their fault other people are heartless. Alfred Ryder had the kind of face that lent itself to characters of this type. Star Trek fans will recognize Professor Crater, whose wife turned out to be a shapeshifter that kills people for the salt in their bodies. He did way more stage work, especially on Broadway, than he did TV work, but guess what we remember him for? It's not hard to suss out why. TV reaches a much bigger audience than a stage play, even a Broadway one, and talent will show itself regardless. In his case, boy, did it. Even so, the stage was his first love. When he retired from acting, he turned to directing, and whichever side of things he was on, he gave it his all, and by all accounts, had a blast doing so. There are worse ways to spend one's life.
Seems you two have more time than you know what to do with. Idle hands lead to mischief. Perhaps we can prevent that.
But we weren't doing anything, Mr. Parteg.
Making a shambles of the room? Laughing so loudly you disturbed me? You call that nothing?
We're sorry, sir.
Oh, you're sorry. If it weren't for you, I'd be in the mountains now celebrating with my friends.
Take them with you, dimwit. You could speak for them. That won't occur to him.
I think we will use the time to improve our minds. Yes. Yes, that's what we'll do. Sit quiet while I write you a few arithmetic problems.
He gives them a page of math problems, not arithmetic, as he said, but advanced math that there's no way kids that age could know, and says, I have to go out for a while. If these aren't done by the time I get back, you get no supper. Thing is, Fitzhugh / Thrombeldinbar is hiding in a corner and heard the whole thing. He's already gotten to like these boys, and his opinion of Mr. Parteg probably isn't appropriate for a family-oriented channel.
Fitzhugh. The vent. Here, hey. Push from your side. Maybe we can pry this loose. Not yet. Fitzhugh, when that Parteg character leaves, can you find some way to get rid of those kids? Because it'll be noisy when we open up this screen.
You saw his expression. He's not ready to leave yet. He has to do something for these boys. He's Thrombeldinbar after all, and they caught him fair and square.
These two boys are orphans. They have no one, nothing. They really believe in me. They think I'm magic.
Yeah, but you're not, and sooner or later they're going to find out.
Not before the moon rises, I'm sure.
What's that got to do with anything?
They will release me at moonrise.
This is the same reason he sticks with Barry. Fitzhugh has a soft spot for children, and especially orphaned children. Plus, now that he's seen how Parteg treats them, he's more determined than ever to try and bring a tiny bit of joy into their lives. Maybe even the kind of joy that Parteg won't be able to suck out of them.
Except you're writing an awful lot.
Oh, I'm doing it for you. When I'm finished, you won't have to mess up the room or giggle over silly games. You'll have something more worthwhile to do.
When he's done, you won't have the burden of being children who learn by playing and discovering the world around them. Life is serious business, and laughter is a waste of time. And besides, he's still mad at you for existing while in his care. Let's look at these arithmetic problems he came up with.
9 plus 3 plus 6 plus 2...
Equals 20.
Right.
That's not too bad, even if Thrombeldinbar did run out of fingers trying to add it up.
Express 12 triangles times 6 triangles in 3 different ways.
In other words, 12 times 6. The triangles are just there to trip them up, and it's working on everybody, including Thrombeldinbar.
He's already in over his head.
Express 832 base 10 in base 5.
Parteg is just being cruel with this stuff. and his problems are clever enough that Thrombeldinbar is stumped.
Well, it's new math. I mean, if you can't do them, it's all right.
Can you do it, Garner?
I don't think so.
Then I shall do it. My word is as good as my bond. However, it will require great concentration and privacy.
What does that mean? Means he wants to be left alone. Come on.
Thrombeldinbar needs to be alone so he can consult his fellow Thrombeldinbar, who just happens to be an engineer.
You can multiply triangles like anything else.
You can? Well...
With their help, the problems are done by the time Mr. Nasty comes back.
We never could have done them. They were too hard for me.
It's not difficult to assume that face is destined for fame. Thing is, Teddy Quinn was 9 when he did this show, and he was already famous. He invaded pretty much every household in America with this line.
Mothers are like that. Yeah, they are.
According to all reports, that "yeah, they are" line wasn't in the script. Our 4-year-old actor ad-libbed it. And it was so good and so sincere, the director and producers decided to leave it in. Less than a month after the commercial premiered, everybody in America was talking about things and saying, "Kumquats are like that. Yeah, they are." As for young Mr. Quinn, what do you do now that your fame has peaked at age 4? You keep trying. He starred in a short-lived sitcom called Accidental Family with Jerry Van Dyke, did lots of bit parts like this, and eventually left acting to go into music. He performed in several bands and seems to have done all right. He also built a recording studio and, as far as we know, still runs it. He briefly returned to acting in the mid-2010s, but best I've been able to find out, he is solidly rooted in music and intends to stay there. I can relate, except for the whole worldwide fame thing.
Incredible. You didn't do these, you couldn't have. You had help somehow.
He really believes somebody came in through the window and helped them with these problems.
I know you couldn't solve these problems. You cheated.
Thrombeldinbar said you cheated, sir.
Oh, Thrombeldinbar, there is no such creature.
Then who told them you cheated?
Now speak up. What's your story? All right. All right. Since you're going to lie as well as to cheat, I shall have to lock you in here tonight without your dinner.
Speaking of lying, he told them if the problems were done, they got dinner. The problems are done, but he's going back on his word. Now, technically, they did cheat on the problems, but technically Fitzhugh was right, so did Parteg. But he's a grown-up, ostensibly, so he gets to break the rules. They're just worthless orphans, so they don't.
What will he do to us in the morning, Garner? We won't be here in the morning. We're running away. Help me find Thrombeldinbar.
In his frantic haste to find whoever helped the boys, Mr. Parteg left the window open. It's a simple matter to collect Thrombeldinbar, grab a few items, and slip out. They leave Mr. Parteg a note and a cookie to make up for spoiling his holiday. They put Fitzhugh in a paper bag. They say it's part of the rules for how we release you.
To release Thrombeldinbar, put him in a paper bag. When the moon comes up, make a wish and burn the bag. As the smoke rises, Thrombeldinbar is set free, and then you'll get your wish.
They release him in the sense of helping him shuffle off this mortal coil and return to his magical existence. That's what the smoke is. Except in the case of Fitzhugh, I have a feeling the whole process will be accompanied by a lot of screaming. Thing is, these kids have no reason not to believe a tale like that. As Fitzhugh said, they have nothing. The hope of getting someone like Thrombeldinbar to grant their wish, spoiler, their wish is for a family that wants them, surprise, surprise, is all they have to hold on to if they're to have any hope of having a future. I know he's fictional, but I bet Parteg was an abused child himself. He also comes from a time when children were expected to behave like adults from the moment they learned to stand upright. It took a long time and a lot of education and persuasion to get people to realize that children need to play. It's how they discover things and how they make sense of this ridiculous excuse for a world they've been dropped into. Keep them from playing, and I guarantee you end up with a borderline useless stuffed shirt like Parteg. And believe it or not, he was the ideal picture of the successful man, attitude and all. On Earth, at least, the 60s put that idea to bed once and for all. Witness the fact that I'm from that era, and if you see me wearing a tie, you know somebody died and I have to go to their funeral. I own exactly one tie, and that's about the only time it comes out. In any case, the boys are headed for the clearing where Garna found Thrombeldinbar. There, they'll wait until the moon comes up and then release him.
Look! It's in the picnic area. We sure are lucky. Now all we have to do is wait for the moon to come up.
They won't stop to ask who built that fire. Big mistake.
Well, I see you're enjoying my fire, gentlemen, aren't you? Hello there. What have you boys got in the bag, eh?
Thrombeldinbar.
He says, we can share the fire. Say hello and shake hands with the monkey.
What's your name?
Garna.
Garna.
No!
No, monkey, shake the other hand.
Come back here, you thief. Now, don't you worry, I'll get it back for you. He didn't mean to be mean about it. No, it's just like a little game, you see? Now, you wait here in case he comes back here before I find him, will you?
Oaken has a fair idea what's really in the bag, and he's got his mind made up. He's going to cash in on the little person. He gives the fake bag to the monkey and says, you know what to do.
Oh, thanks. Look, he worked his magic. Yeah, turned himself into a rock.
That should make it a lot less painful when they burn him. Speaking of which, the moon just appeared. It's time.
We wish for a home where they want us.
Mark, Valerie, and Barry have been circling around, and they saw Oaken with the real bag and the real Fitzhugh. Steve and Dan didn't. And right now, they should be wondering why Fitzhugh isn't bellowing like a foghorn. Except a ways away in the real bag, that's exactly what he's doing. He's calling for Steve, Dan, and Mark. Bad idea. That tells Oaken there are 3 more little people around here, and he's going to catch them all. Insert your own punchline here.
All right, now. Where are the other 3?
3 what, sir?
3 what, sir? You know what I mean. The 3 other little people.
They don't know anything about any little people. They were dealing with an elf named Thrombeldinbar. Naturally, being a greedy slob, he refuses to believe them. He ties them to a tree.
And if you put off telling me long enough, I got a spot right here in the forest where they won't find you for a month.
I guess he'd better get to it then, because they have no idea what he's talking about. Meanwhile, the monkey has the bag with Fitzhugh in it. Fitzhugh is getting queasy. I have a feeling if it was our 2 boys in there, they'd be laughing and giggling and calling it the best carnival ride ever. Oaken is afraid the monkey is going to hurt his little prize, though, so he sets the bag down and ties the monkey up just out of reach of it. Back to the boys. They still don't know anything about any little people, so he starts carving a twig into a switch to beat them with. Too bad our crew is too tiny to deal with this guy. They need help, and Steve knows where to get it.
Mr. Parteg?
Little people. How do you know my name?
That's not important now. Your boys, Garna and Toby, they're in trouble. And they need your help.
Stay where you are. I'll come out.
Yeah, sure, they'll stay there. They trust you, especially after they've seen the way you treat those boys.
Did you hear what I said? The boys need your help.
You don't say.
Look, it's true. They're in the park. And this organ grinder's got them.
It's impossible. I locked them in their room.
Well, they went out through the window. Why don't you go see for yourself?
Wait. Don't run away. I won't harm you.
And why are you hiding that sack behind your back?
He says, "Oh, there are two of you. Even better."
Don't be a fool, Partake. How are you going to explain the boy's disappearance to the juvenile authorities? And what are you going to say when the Child Welfare Board investigates? And what's going to happen to your job?
If this is some kind of a trick.
Partake, it's no trick. The boys are in danger.
We'll see about that.
Sure enough, the room is empty and the window is open. It's easy to tell he never saw that coming. He didn't see this coming either.
Mr. Partake, sorry we spoiled your holiday. Goodbye, gone, Toby.
They say Mr. Partake's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Donna? Toby!
That's Mr. Partake.
Nice of him to announce his arrival like that.
Oaken goes off to hide so he can ambush Partake. Our crew is splitting up. Steve, Barry, and Valerie will try to get Fitzhugh away from the monkey, while Mark and Dan see about cutting some ropes and freeing the boys.
What is this?
Steve and crew saw that cookie fall, and they'll use it to lure the monkey away from Fitzhugh's bag so they can get him out of there.
Let me out! Help! Let me out!
Fitzhugh just disproved one of the most commonly accepted principles of science. He can punch his way out of a paper bag. The monkey is enjoying his cookie, and our gang is back together. Now about Mr. Partake. Oaken is tough, but he's no match for all 3 of them. For him, it's kind of like when you're right at the critical point of a delicate project, and just as you go to do the careful thing, a fly zips right in your ear. They can't hurt him, but they're enough of an annoyance that he can't focus on Mr. Partake. Especially when they start doing that. Oaken has had enough. He's out of there. Ditto for the monkey.
You all right, Mr. Partake?
Yes, thanks to you. I don't know why you came to help me. You can't really like me.
You came to help us. And you don't like us either.
I notice he didn't deny that, but after the evening's events, he may be rethinking it.
I wonder where Thrombeldinbar is.
Toby, Thrombeldinbar is far away by this time. This is his busy night, you know.
Now we know he's a changed man. Before, he pretty well screamed at Toby that there was no such critter. Non-existent or far away from here, Fitzhugh is okay with either one as long as he gets back to the ship. He's decided boiled roots aren't so bad after all.
I'm sorry for the way I acted.
We're sorry that you couldn't go to the mountains and you had to stay with us.
Yes. Well, I tell you what. Let's start new. We'll talk about it tonight at dinner.
Dinner?
Yes, a big holiday dinner.
Of course, if he could get in on that. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please click the thumbs up. It really does help the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, the button looks something like this. So click it and join our little family. There's a bell there that may or may not actually work to give you notifications when we post something, but it can't hurt to click it just in case. You can also join our Patreon for as little as $2 a month and help me keep expanding and improving the channel. The link is in the description, along with links to a lot of other fun stuff I do. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Helping his beautiful daughter escape an arranged marriage by taking shelter in Fort Courage under the Good grief, how many breaths can I do that in? Barry, of course, tags along because Fitzhugh is a danger. Danger! Danger, Will Robinson. Okay, the crew gets ready to glow. Glow? Oh, good grief. Go including, yeah, one word at a time.